Good evening. We don't see things the way they are. We see them the way we are. Welcome to BMC Leaves Lab in English, brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. I am Vinod Narayanan, joining you with the daily news updates. Today's headlines.
Bahraini women's achievements in education highlighted. Applications for the Crown Princess International Scholarship Program 2023 opened. Bahrain launched first digital postbox in the Middle East. India will resume regular international flights from March 27. Booster dose mandatory for departure through King Fahd Causeway.
News in detail. Bahraini women's achievements in education highlighted. Secretary General of the Higher Education Council, Board of Trustees, Deputy Chairperson and Member of the Supreme Council for Women, Dr. Sheikha Rana bint Isa bin Duwaij Al Khalifa, has praised the efforts of Her Royal Highness Princess Sabika bint Ibrahim Al Khalifa, wife of His Majesty the King and President of the Supreme Council for Women, to support Bahraini women at all levels, contributing to highlight their landmark achievements in all fields. In a statement marking the International Women's Day, celebrated this year under the theme Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow, Dr. Sheikha Rana affirmed that the advancement of Bahraini women across all fields reflects the appreciation of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa for them and the effective programs implemented by the government led by His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, to ensure equal opportunities and pave the way for women to confirm their distinguished capabilities. His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa inaugurated Brave International Combat Week 2022. Report.
His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa, First Deputy Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, President of the Public Sports Authority and President of the Bahrain Olympic Committee, inaugurated the activities of the Brave International Combat Week 2022, which is being held under the patronage of His Highness and is organized by the Bahrain Mixed Martial Arts Federation in cooperation with the International Martial Arts Mixed Federation and the Khalid bin Hamad Sports Organization at Khalifa Sports City from March 8 to 12. Which will hold the first edition of MMA Super Cup, the largest amateur mixed martial arts tournament, and the 57th edition of the Brave Combat Federation, which will witness a bantamweight world championship title fight. After a 2-year-long hiatus and countless events at Brave CF headquarters, Brave International Combat Week has returned to the Kingdom of Bahrain with a bang as the opening ceremony took fans by surprise at Khalifa Sports City. The ceremony was launched with the screening of a special film that included the success achieved by the Kingdom of Bahrain in Bahraini sports. The uniforms of the participating teams in the MMA Super Cup tournament, presented by Greenhill, were revealed. After that, His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa announced the opening of the tournament, welcoming all the participating delegations and wishing everyone success. The ceremony concluded with a fireworks display. Brave International Combat Week is taking place in the Kingdom of Bahrain from March 8 to 11 at Khalifa Sports City. It will include the inaugural MMA Super Cup, the largest amateurs mixed martial arts tournament in the history of combat sports, and Brave CF 57, headlined by 3 World Championship title fights.
Darasat Center hosts discussions to enhance Bahraini-European relations. Bahrain Center for Strategic International and Energy Studies hosted a discussion panel titled EU-Bahrain, a multi-dimensional partnership to discuss further enhancing relations between Bahrain and the European Union. The event coincided with the first anniversary of the signing of the cooperation arrangement between Bahrain's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the European External Action Service in 2021 that provides an institutional framework for political dialogue and cooperation in areas of trade, research and innovation, clean energy and renewables. Panelists include EU Ambassador to KSA, Bahrain and Oman, Patrick Simonet, and Chief of European Affairs at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Ahmed Al-Kurainis. Applications for the Crown Princess International Scholarship Program 2023 opened. The Crown Princess International Scholarship Program has begun accepting applications for its 2023 scholarship program online on www.cpisp.bh. To qualify, Bahraini students set to graduate in 2023 should have a minimum grade point average of 97% over the course of grade 10 and the first semester of grade 11. The application submission period will be from 1st to 17th March 2022. Applicants are required to submit an official transcript in English covering grade 10 and the first semester of grade 11. Scanned copies of smart card, valid passport and a recent picture. The final 10 scholarship recipients, 5 males and 5 females, will be announced in April 2023. Scholarship decisions are merit-based decisions that depend on GPA scores, IELTS and SAT test scores, as well as training courses outcomes. IGA to improve Tawasul app. The Information and E-Government Authority Chief Executive Mohammad Ali Al-Qaid met Chief of Customer Services Ali Darwish to discuss improvements on Tawasul app. Al-Qaid highlighted the importance of the FICRA competition that was launched following the directives of the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa. The competition promotes creativity in the public sector in line with the Bahrain Economic Vision 2030, he said. Al-Qaid explained that the Tawasul app promotes transparency between beneficiaries and government entities. He stressed the authority's commitment to improve government services and confirmed the efforts, drawing an implementation plan to submit to the Interior Minister Lieutenant General Sheikh Rashid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa. Bahrain and Saudi Arabia signed Civil Aviation Executive Program. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, represented by the General Authority of Civil Aviation, signed today an executive program in the field of civil aviation with the government of the Kingdom of Bahrain. The deal was sealed on the sidelines of the World Defense Show, organized by the General Authority for Military Industries from the March 6 to 9 in the capital city of Riyadh. The program was signed on behalf of the Kingdom by President of GACA Abdulaziz bin Abdullah Al Duailaj, while it was signed on behalf of the Kingdom of Bahrain by Minister of Transport and Communications, Engineer Kamal bin Ahmed. The program aims to develop aspects of cooperation in several fields of civil aviation that includes air transport, aviation security and safety, air traffic management and airports. The World Defense Show 2022 is a unique platform that brings together all those concerned with the defense industry from around the world. New green initiatives. 40 aspiring young Bahrainis are part of a unique program to come up with innovative solutions to the threat climate change poses to the kingdom and to help achieve its sustainability goals. The National Innovation Initiative started off with a 2-day educational program during which 8 teams of 5 each will learn about developing solutions to environmental programs. Bahrain launches first digital postbox in the Middle East. Beyond Connect brings a new way to communicate to Bahrain through the launch of OneBox, an innovative digital postbox solution. OneBox is the first solution of its kind in Bahrain. OneBox enables free and easy direct communication for residents with private sector businesses as well as public sector entities. The solution is fully sender and receiver validated, guaranteeing spam-free secure distribution. OneBox helps streamline everyday digital communication and complies with international personal data protection and privacy laws. Today's COVID updates.
COVID updates brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers.
India will resume regular international flights from March 27. After 2 years, India will resume regular international flight operations and will follow the standard operating procedures effective at Indian airports for foreign arrivals and departure, the government said on Tuesday. Government of India has decided to resume scheduled commercial international passenger services to and from India from March 27th. Strong winds, dust storm to be expected in Bahrain on Wednesday. The Ministry of Transportation and Telecommunications announced that the region is expected to be affected by the southeasterly winds on Wednesday, March 9, 2022. According to the report, Al-Qaus winds will continue to blow during the next 2 days and their speed will range from active to strong, sometimes exposing dust. The winds are also expected to contribute to a rise in temperatures, especially during the day. Expatriates flock to remit money as Indian rupee slips to all-time low. Indian rupee remittances are going through one of their best phases since the start of the month, with Indian expats using their February salary credits to good use. Whether via currency exchange houses or through account-to-account transfers, March's rupee remittances have been at even better than previous highs. Currency movements ahead of the market's opening suggest the rupee will start close to its all-time low of rupees 204.07 to the BHT. The earlier low of rupees 201.11 was hit on April 3rd of 2020 as India faced up to the full impact of what the COVID-19 pandemic would do to its economy. On International Women's Day, Dana Mall was a buzz with the bright and snappy assertiveness of some truly amazing women in Bahrain. The celebrations kicked off with a thought-provoking coffee morning panel discussions titled Break the Bias, moderated by Mrs. Raji Unikrishnan. The panel included Zaira Ranch, Shaikha Nasser Saad Al-Sowaid, Dana Subari, Tanmai Mohan, Anida Menon, Rohini Sundaram, Tanima Sike, May Avadash, Sharmila Shet, Sara Al-Samak, Sabaht Isik and Hanan Al-Thawi, who shared their take on work-life balance, self-care and financial independence. The spirit of supporting and cheering women achievers continued with a training session for women by the Bahrain Tennis Federation, a yoga class and a taekwondo lesson to introduce women to joys of physical fitness and sports. Lulu Group Director Juser Rupwala talked during the occasion and wished all women in Bahrain the very best. Now we will be back after a very short break.
The 16th branch of Megamart and Macromart supermarkets in Bahrain has opened in Sahala. The best offers are available to the customers at affordable rates. Everyone is welcome. During and around the opening day, a variety of fish including salmon, meat and dairy products, roastery, frozen items, food and non-food items, groceries, fruits and vegetables, electronics, garments and ready-to-eat food items are available to the customers at affordable rates. Hearty welcome to all. Megamart and Macromart, your favorite shopping destination.
Welcome back. Booster dose mandatory for departure through King Fahd Causeway. The King Fahd Causeway Authority announced that only citizens who received booster dose of COVID-19 vaccine would be allowed to leave the kingdom through the causeway. However, there will be exemption for those who have received second dose of the vaccine within 3 months of their travel. The exemption will also be applicable to those groups who are excluded from taking vaccine on health grounds as shown on their Tawaklana application. There will be an approved medical insurance coverage against the risks of COVID-19 for those who are under the age of 12 years. Saudi Arabia signs deals worth over Saudi Riyal 7 billion at WDS Riyadh 2022. The Saudi Ministry of Defense has sealed 10 key deals worth more than Saudi Riyal 7 billion with the local and international companies to support the armed forces' capabilities and raise combat effectiveness. The announcement came as part of the ministry's participation in the World Defense Show Riyadh 2022, being held in the Saudi capital on March 6 to 9. Saudi Air Force takes part in Red Flag 2022 in USA. The 10-day Red Flag 2022 exercise kicked off today in Nevada, USA, at the Nellis Air Force Base with the participation of the Royal Saudi Air Force and several countries in addition to the host country. The first day of the exercise witnessed preparatory meetings to discuss scenarios that will be implemented practically. Then participating airplanes carried out prepared combat duties simulating a true war, such as advanced combat operations against fixed and mobile targets, and facing hostile forces with the use of advanced E-systems and air transport. Assistant Commander of the Air Forces participating in the exercise, Lieutenant Colonel Pilot Adil bin Said Abu Mala, noted that the Air Forces conduct multiple tasks and duties which require missions to be clear and specific. Dubai Electricity and Water Authority invites climate action supporters to MENA Climate Week 2022. The Dubai Electricity and Water Authority has invited interested climate action supporters and public to register for the Middle East and North Africa Climate Week to be held in Dubai on March 28th to 31st. For the first time in the region, the event is hosted by the UAE Ministry of Climate Change and Environment, the World Green Economy Organization and DEWA. The 4-day event will feature several panel discussions and round table featuring many ministries and experts. It includes virtual and in-person events and youth engagement activities, according to Emirates News Agency. Australia to declare East Coast floods a national emergency. Floods that have devastated Australia's East Coast will be declared a national emergency, Prime Minister Scott Morrison said on Wednesday, as authorities look to deploy aid and urgent supplies to the worst-hit areas. Morrison, on a visit to the devastated town of Lismore in northern New South Wales, also pledged more financial support for people and businesses affected by weeks of rain that have submerged rural towns and suburbs across Sydney, Reuters reported. The emergency declaration, which was set up after Australia's destructive 2019 bushfires, will help cut red tape and speed up aid from defense personnel amid criticism about a slow response to the floods in which 20 people have died. Hong Kong to focus COVID resources on elderly, no date set for mass tests. Hong Kong leader Carrie Lam announced a series of measures targeted at elderly residents on Wednesday as a surge of COVID-19 infections sweeps through care homes, with deaths rapidly climbing among the city's mainly unvaccinated seniors. The government will strengthen medical treatment and resources and set up more isolation and temporary care facilities for elderly coronavirus patients, Lam told a media briefing, Reuters reported. She said a date for a compulsory mass testing scheme, which has triggered panic buying of groceries and essentials in the city, was still being considered, but the government had not decided on a time frame given the huge scale of the operation. Malaysia to reopen to vaccinated tourists from April 1st. Malaysia will reopen to all vaccinated tourists from April 1st, authorities said Tuesday, joining a growing number of countries removing restrictions in an attempt to live with COVID-19. The tourism-reliant Southeast Asian country, known for its white sand beaches and lush rainforests, shut its borders in March 2020 but will now require only a negative coronavirus test to enter. Number of refugees from Ukraine reaches 2 million, UN said. 2 million refugees have now fled Ukraine since Russia's invasion, said the UN's refugee agency. More than half have passed over the border into Poland. The latest figures show around 100,000 have fled to Russia and 450 to Belarus. WHO says COVID boosters needed, reversing previous call. An expert group convened by the World Health Organization said Tuesday it strongly supports urgent and broad access to booster doses in a reversal of the UN agency's previous insistence that boosters weren't necessary and contributed to vaccine inequity via statement. WHO said its expert group concluded that immunization with authorized COVID-19 vaccines provide high levels of protection against severe disease and death amid the global circulation of the hugely contagious Omicron variant. Vaccination, including the use of boosters, was especially important for people at risk of severe disease. With that, we come to the end of today's news. Stay tuned for daily news updates in BMC News Live English at 7:30 p.m. every day. I am Vinod Narayanan signing off from BMC News Live. Good night.